Now we go to the defense, Charlie.
Okay. Torts had a lot to say about the defenseman.
I mean, Adam Ginning, he just came out and said he's had a bad camp. Oof, that's rough. He said he had him penciled in at that 8th spot. Like, that was our guy. Yeah. And now he's not.
Sure
it's
ain't.
Emil Andrae.
Sure ain't.
That's rough, but it is kind of what we've seen. I mean, Adam Ginning has not been good.
That's the thing. And again, like, we can have our jokes about John Tortorella.
Yeah.
We can. But it is fair to say that John Tortorella sees what we see most of the time. Like, I think the decision to scratch Sean Couturier was wrong, but it's not like Tortorella was wrong in seeing that Couturier wasn't playing
He was playing poorly.
Yes. Like, that was objectively true. I got why he was frustrated with him. Anybody who is, and shout out to the sickos, anybody who's been watching all these preseason games, all of them, knows that Adam Ginning has been playing like crap. He had a decent game. I thought the first game in Washington, he played in that game. He was fine. Ever since then, he's been trash.
They won 6-2. Everyone had a great game.
Everyone had a good game. Ever since then, because after that game, that's when they made first cuts. And that is when Ginning was placed in the NHL group at practice. That's when you're like, oh, okay, Ginning's got a chance here. They like him. They're clearly thinking highly of him after the first portion of camp. Every game he's been in since then, he's been bad. And it's really just been varying degrees of bad. It's been from, he wasn't that good, to, oh my God.
Because he's never going to look the way we want Jamie Drysdale to look, or like Shane Gostisbehere, a rookie here. Like, that's never going to be Adam Ginning standing out. Mm-hmm. But it's, all right, man, yeah, you need to make good, subtle defensive plays. And it's that no, you're doing the opposite of that. You're turning the puck over often. You are getting beat. Your man is behind you. Yeah. Like, these are the things you're supposed to be good at.
Exactly.
You play a role, like, you're going to have a specific role. It's this. You're doing that thing poorly. Like, yeah, man, he's going to not be the best puck handler because he's not. Yeah. But if he can't do this stuff, and that's what we've seen, he's not executing defensively, and that just means he's not very good. Like, if he can't do that, then what is he?
Yeah. Ginning, this really does seem like a missed opportunity for him. He had his chance, and he might get another chance. Yeah. Like, he's clearly not going to make this team. Tortorella's made that abundantly clear, both with his actions and his words. Ginning ain't on the team. But that doesn't mean he can't get a shot in season if he has a good start to the Phantom season, if there's injuries, if maybe some of the other prospects down there aren't playing well and he's the only one playing half decent. He could earn himself a chance, and he could change the narrative. But this just feels like a major missed opportunity for him because it was all laid out for him. You know, Emil Andrae is the better prospect. He's a better prospect than Adam Ginning. Ginning started off the second half of camp a leg up on Andrae, and he could have parlayed that into maybe not even a roster spot, but at the very least, the preferred call-up option when the first guy gets injured. Instead, now he's behind Andrae. And where I said a couple days ago that I think Andre's in a position where he's the first call-up if it's, York or Sanheim or Drysdale goes down. Now, I wonder if he's the first call-up option even if Risto goes down. Because they're like, look, you're the only defenseman, young defenseman at this camp who showed us anything. So if anybody gets hurt, I don't care if it's a big dude, a physical dude, Emil, you're coming up because everyone else stunk.
Yeah, we'll rework the pairs. Yeah. Like, we'll figure it out so that if it's Risto, like, all right, maybe you're with Zamula, maybe you're with someone else, but we will figure it out. And that's what the coach said today. It was funny. Like, Tortorella says Emil Andrae wins the 8th spot, the 8th defenseman, but they're not carrying 8 defensemen.
Yeah, I came right back. A couple questions later I asked, because I'm trying to figure out who's going to make this team.
Yeah.
So he says Emil Andrae is the 8th defenseman. You can carry 8 defensemen if you want. Teams do it. So I asked Tortorella, going on this road trip, I know obviously Danny's a GM, but would you want to carry 8 defensemen on this road trip? And before I was even finished answering the question, he just says no. And then he explains, not only do I not want to carry 8, there's a world where I would dress 5 defensemen if guys get hurt on the trip. Like, it's John Tortorella. Like, that was wild.
I love this
because the only game I remember him dressing 5 defensemen was the game where he basically told Tony DeAngelo, you're never playing for my hockey team.
You're not on the team anymore. Like, your checks are still going to say Philadelphia Flyers. You're not playing for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah. But Torts basically said, look, like, I would rather take 14 forwards than take 8 defensemen, to the point where if injuries hit on the trip, I'll deal with starting 5 defensemen. I'll manage.
We're putting Fedotov's going to be playing out. It's just, like, part of me is like, I've said plenty of times, when it's time to win, I need a coach other than John Tortorella.
Right.
There's another part of me that really wants him to coach forever.
Well, for our show, it's probably a very good thing, because John Tortorella will always give us content.
Like, if
always.
They're going to go and hire one of these coaches that doesn't say a damn thing, and it's going to be a real bummer when we lose John Tortorella.
You're not wrong. So I think we can write off the defenseman. Andrae, they come out of camp feeling good about him. Tortorella had positive things to say about Emil Andrae today. He more or less said, he kind of quietly, hasn't been flashy, but quietly has had a good camp. We're happy with Emil Andrae. Then he obviously said, Adam Ginning has had a bad camp. But then everybody else, he more or less said, we're disappointed that no one else has stepped up to meet the moment. None of the other young-ish defensemen. So we're talking about Oliver Bonk. I think he was legitimately disappointed in Bonk. I think he was hoping Bonk had the Luchenko camp.
Yeah.
And instead, Bonk does not look ready, which is not the end of the world. He's still a good prospect.
He's 19.
He's just not ready.
Yeah.
And I think Torts was hoping he was going to be able to bang the table for him in these end-of-camp meetings. He can't do that because he sees it. Bonk ain't ready. Hunter McDonald, another guy that I think the front office was hoping was going to have a better showing than he did. I don't think he's been terrible, but he's not ready either. He didn't show it. Helge Grans hasn't shown it. Obviously, Adam Ginning hasn't shown it. Like, there are a lot of guys.
Ronnie Attard
didn't even make it through camp.
Who we thought was going to get you're waiver exempt. Like, we thought there's a possibility. It was like, well, you're the waiver exempt guy, so we'll see how this goes. He was one of the first cuts.
Yeah.
They waived him right away.
Yeah. There were a lot of guys on defense that came into this camp that are in their, mid-20s, that this could have been their chance to really carve out, maybe not make the team, but make them think of, man, I know we have 7 already, but God, Adam Ginning was real good in this camp. Like, do we have to bench Zamula for game 1 because Ginning has been that good? No one has made them think to that degree. The only guy who's even made them consider it is Andrae. And the way they look at it with Andrae is, number one, he's been good, he hasn't been incredible, and he needs to play games.
He's the guy who needs to play.
So he's going down, but he's going to get the pat on the head like, good job, be ready. The other guys are going to be, not so good job, get your shit together.
Like, what I'm envisioning now with the way he talked about the defenseman is, it might be Andrae, but we also might be in a Louis Belpedio situation again. Like, none of you guys earned it. It's going to be him.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You're not wrong.
You lost out. Like, you ruined, you spoiled this opportunity. There will be more. And like you said, like, Adam Ginning could very well play this year. Yeah. This is the Flyers. Guys are going to get hurt. Like,
it's an NHL team.
Yeah, like, it's a John Tortorella team where you have to block 100 shots.
It's fair.
Like,
fair point.
People are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
He'll get a shot probably, but not if there's guys ahead of him.
Not right away.
Like, he's not the first call.
Yeah. So Andrae leads the defense, but Torts straight up said he doesn't want to keep 8. So that removes Andrae from the running. I think we saw both at the end of the game last night and then also this morning, we got strong hints that Tony Dick ain't making the team either. And here's why. Number one, after the game, when he had the conversation with Brian Smith and whoever that other reporter was that was up there, he basically said, and I thought this was very telling, he said something to the extent of, he might not be here for the start. That tells me he's probably not going to be here for the start, and Torts is just like showing his hand a little bit.
Yeah.
And then today, Anthony Richard was not with the NHL group. So to me, we know most likely Richard isn't going to make it because we straight up were told it essentially, and then he's not with the NHL group, he's with a small group. Torts straight up told us today that Andrae, he doesn't want to carry 8 defensemen. So unless somebody gets hurt, he's not making the team. I think this is down to 3 possible options. Either they keep Jet for the 9 games, they keep Ole Lycksell, or they just go with 22. And they send Lycksell down, they send Luchenko back, and they say, okay, we're going to go 13 forwards, 7 defensemen. We have 1 extra at each of the positions, and we're going to go on this trip. And hey, if there's another injury, we can fly somebody across the country.
Again, it's weird. It's John Tortorella. He'll do it just to make a point.
Right.
But like, you have 4 straight West Coast games to start the season. You're as far from home as you can get.
Yeah.
Just bring as many guys as you're allowed.
Why not take
Just
as many
bring
guys?
as many guys as you're allowed. What are we saving money on hotel rooms here?
I would have to think, like, if I was going to bet, I would bet Licksell makes the team. Because that just seems to make the most sense. He's no longer waiver exempt. I don't think he's going to get claimed, but there's a single-digit chance that maybe someone is intrigued.
Non-zero.
And he's had a good camp. Not an amazing camp, but he's had a good camp. To me, why not?
He's a good player.
But we'll see how they do.
Give him a shot, but we'll see.
We all silly like the mayor.